Sarah and Daniel seemed like the perfect couple on the outside, a successful businessman and a devoted wife, admired by friends and family for their long-lasting bond. But behind the closed doors of their home, the cracks were beginning to show. What started as minor arguments slowly escalated, with Sarah increasingly feeling that Daniel was hiding something from her. She brushed off the suspicion for years, determined to keep their marriage intact. But the tension grew until the air was thick with mistrust and resentment. It was as if Daniel was constantly keeping a dark secret, something that gnawed at her but never revealed itself. She finally reached a breaking point. After 10 long years, Sarah filed for divorce. Filing for divorce was a bold step for Sarah, but she knew it was the only way to find peace. However, her decision shocked and infuriated Daniel, who insisted they keep up appearances, pretending that everything was fine between them. He refused to believe Sarah would go through with it, threatening her, pleading with her, anything to keep his life intact. But Sarah was resolute. She was ready to leave, willing to walk away with nothing if it meant freedom from the constant strain. As she began preparing for the separation, she felt as though a weight was finally lifting. But little did she know, this was only the beginning of a dark and twisted journey. One evening, as Sarah sorted through their financial documents to prepare for the divorce proceedings, she came across a set of transactions that made her blood run cold. There were bank accounts in her husband's name that she had never known about. Large sums of money moved quietly into offshore accounts, untraceable and buried under layers of deceit. Her fingers trembled as she pieced together what she was seeing. Daniel had been hiding assets, leading a double life right under her nose. The discovery made her question everything she thought she knew about him. Confronting Daniel only deepened her fears as he dismissed her accusations with a menacing tone, warning her to drop the divorce and forget about the finances if she knew what was best for her. For the first time, she genuinely feared him. Days passed, and Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she was in danger. Everywhere she went, she felt watched. Daniel had hired a private investigator to keep tabs on her, ensuring that she didn't take any action that could jeopardize his secrets. But Sarah was done being afraid. Determined to protect herself, she took her suspicions to law enforcement, working discreetly to gather evidence against Daniel. She collected every document, every hidden account, compiling a dossier that could expose the full extent of his illegal activities. Yet Daniel was a step ahead. He began to turn the tables on her, planting evidence that painted her as unstable, untrustworthy, hoping it would discredit her if it ever came to court. The situation took a terrifying turn when Sarah was involved in what seemed like a freak accident. Driving home late one night, she lost control of her car, skidding off the road. She survived with minor injuries, but the incident shook her deeply. The more she thought about it, the more convinced she became that this wasn't an accident at all. In her heart, she knew it was Daniel's doing, a last desperate attempt to silence her. This realization only strengthened her resolve. She refused to become his victim. Instead, she continued working with authorities, who by now had enough evidence to proceed with an investigation into Daniel's finances and his increasingly unhinged behavior. As the investigation unfolded, Daniel's carefully crafted life began to crumble. The police uncovered layers of embezzlement, fraud, and even plans to eliminate Sarah if she became a liability. The revelations were shocking, painting a chilling portrait of a man who would stop at nothing to protect his secrets. Finally, Daniel was arrested, his crimes laid bare for all to see. In court, Sarah stood as a symbol of resilience, facing her estranged husband, as he was sentenced for the many ways he'd violated her trust and the law. She had entered the divorce hoping to escape a toxic marriage, but she emerged from the ordeal stronger, with her freedom and justice in hand. As Sarah left the courtroom that day, she felt a surge of relief and triumph. She had managed not only to escape Daniel's grasp, but to uncover a criminal mastermind hiding in plain sight. Her journey was far from what she expected when she signed those divorce papers, but through her courage and persistence, she had turned a nightmare into a fresh start. The question that lingered in everyone's mind was haunting. How well do we really know the people closest to us?